Hello, everyone. Hi. And yeah, please bear with me today. I'm going through a shift. It's really intense, actually. Let's just go straight into it, shall we? Let's just really go straight into it. So what was the first deity I ever worked with? The first deity I ever worked was with Aphrodite. She's the goddess of love and the goddess of beauty. She also taught me the self-concept of love. She also taught me the self-concept of what true love is externally. Similar to Ocean, but very different. I'll get to that. Because a lot of people compare Aphrodite and Ocean, and I do understand, but they're not the same. However, so yes, my first ever deity I worked with Aphrodite. External love, internal love, inner beauty, outer beauty. And also helped me in modelling, helped me gain the confidence to be a model. So, ashe to Aphrodite, thank you, the goddess of the sea, born from Kronos' sperm, foam into the sea, and transformed into the perfection of beauty itself. No one can be compared to her, for she is perfection itself. And imperfections as well. And what my insecurities are, and what I need to work on, and stuff like all of that self-concept. And then I believe the second deity I worked with was Persephone. Let me just think back. Okay, the free goddess, Mother Maiden Crone. How did she help me? She helped me within my craft, what tools to use, and what spells to do, and what spells I could do. She helped me explore that and healed my witch scar. If you don't know what a witch scar is, it's just, one of those things where our ancestors, people before us, Ashe, that were scarred physically and spiritually from being their most feminine, divine self. Yeah. Us being burnt by the stake, us being, for example, for me, us being slaves as an ancestor. And Hecate helped me heal that. She helped me look into the darkness and see how it isn't as bad as people deem it to be. Men just demonize things, and yeah, she really helped me understand the abbreviation of good magic and bad magic, and I want to say the darker arts, but it's not necessarily even the dark arts. It's just human will. What are we putting our energies on someone that doesn't even deserve it? How to really check that will and really make sure that the energies that we are putting out, is it coming back to us? You see, and making us feel tired and weak. And if any energies that aren't being served in this sacred space, I banish you away with the light of my grace. You have no hold or power here, for I stand to face you with no fear. Be gone forever, for this I will say. For this is my sacred space, and you will obey. Ashe. Whew. But, yes. So, she helped me understand also the three worlds. The standing of the true essence of a dark feminine, and not fearing that, and actually allowing your self to flow in that state and not be afraid. And oh god, isn't this music intense? Let's change that. But yeah, really helped me in those ways. And okay, so let's go to the next one, which is Persephone, the goddess of the underworld and also the goddess of spring. And there's a lot of stories about her, but the one that I really resonate with is she chose to eat the pomegranate seed, and she swallowed that bitch to stay in her realm that she domained over. Do you understand? Also, a blessing for her to even call to me, because I was going through a time of transition, and she really helped me understand the transitions of both worlds. While with Hecate, she helped me understand the three worlds. Persephone helped me understand the two worlds, which is Earth and then the underworld. And she really helped me with that, and helped me understand that the underworld isn't necessarily a place of tragedy. It's also a place of self-reflection and restoration and generative properties, which is very true. She really helped me with that, and I'm so grateful that all of these deities that I've experienced has really taught me to understand myself even further, and in a deeper way. Really grateful. And yeah, Persephone really helps me understand that energy, and also helps me understand if there was a relationship that was taking me down under, or taking me down under for a good purpose, or an evil one. This can be pretty intense. They can make you go into a psychological battle, and internal and external. That's how it felt to me. I felt like I was being strengthened by that in a way that I couldn't experience unless I had a goddess by my side, because I found a lot of power in that. And yes, so on to the next, Persephone. If you guys would like an individual video about the deities, I just feel like there's so many videos about the deities that I'm just not too bothered in that sense. Like, I think it's important. I mean, there's never enough knowledge, there's never enough influence, there's never enough, there is never enough. Like, you can always add more, but I just feel like there's so many videos out there that are articulating it better, and I'm just going by my experiences right now. I'm not going by what the book says. I'm not going by what the history says. I always, and this is a really important thing as well, actually, you always need to make sure when you're doing any sort of deity work, that you are going head forward in your own consciousness. You're not being persuaded and like fooled by what other people are saying. You're going purely because you feel called to, and that's why a lot of people don't succeed in deity worship, especially working with more ancient goddesses, because they're just so consumed by the mundane aspects of what they can bring and what their powers are. It's good to do research on their powers, but it's another thing to just work with the deity for those powers. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I never did that. I did, and I learned the hard way. So take my advice and don't go through that route. And so yes, so what's next? So Persephone, we did Aphrodite, we did Hecate, we did Persephone. We only did 3. Oh my goodness. The fourth one. Who was the fourth? After Persephone, I worked with her lighter archetype as well, the goddess of spring. I didn't just work with the goddess of the underworld. It was Hades. Because it's really important to also work with Hades after you work with Persephone, of some sort. I didn't completely worship, but I did make an altar. Hades is the king of the underworld. Persephone is the queen. Then after, so yeah, Hades, I guess Hades was just more of a masculine energy and was more of an anchor, and was the true source of a divine dark masculine. Yeah, it really taught me like more of a brotherhood energy. I felt like a lot of brotherhood. Oh, and death as well. More emphasis on death. And then I believe it was, God, I'm just channeling. I believe it was Thanatos, and Thanatos is more of a fallen angel energy, and like it's ruled by Saturn. Thanatos is the god of time. Is that true? No, not time. What am I talking about? Yeah, it was rarely appearing. Yeah, that's true. Personification of death. Which also helps me understand of the energy and which it carries, because the thing is with Persephone, even though I did learn about the underworld and did learn about its restorative energies, it felt like a really positive experience. And then with Hades, he taught me more about like the more masculine energy and like the darker like sense of self, and like that taking the action in that energy rather than being intuitive, because feminines are more like, the feminine energy is more intuitive and more psychic, and then the masculine energy is a bit more like doing, right, taking action. And then with Thanatos, I believe I was using him more as a protective. I was feeling really, I needed to have a protective energy of death around me, because there was a negative experience happening to me at the time, and I needed to make sure that I was protected by the actual true source of its energy, which was Thanatos. There we go. And then after Thanatos, it was, I'm sorry, I can't go by order anymore, because I feel like I'm channeling and then I just feel like a bit of a disturbance. So I'm not going to go too into the order, but that from there, that was the order. But now I'm just going what I'm channeling. And the Morgan, and I really connected with her. I've connected to her many times, but the time that I really felt connected to her was when I found out I was Irish. I found out I was Irish, and I was like, wow, well, I need to work with a goddess that is Irish. So, the Morgan was the goddess that I went to, and she taught me her mysteries of shape-shifting and seduction. But then also magic as well. She taught me magic, and she taught me how to control my emotions while using magic. Sovereignty is the key word, sovereignty. And then after that was Nephthys, which is the sister of Isis. I worked with Isis beforehand, but Nephthys was someone that wasn't just a goddess to me, was also a friend. I don't want to get emotional, but I had a friend that worked with Nephthys, and I'm going to be honest, I felt more cool to Nephthys after. I felt nostalgic. Working with Nephthys, and I really felt like that was a way for me to connect, not just to my friend that passed, but also helped me understand where her energy was coming from. And oh my god, Nephthys, you are a fierce being to work with, and so grateful. But yeah, and then I worked with Isis. So I've worked with Isis quite a few times. I've also called to have for help for protection spells. But Isis is the goddess of light, and if you guys know me from this journey from the beginning of when I was 15, and not just spirituality, but just social media in general, you know that I went by light, and that wasn't because of the goddess. That was more of a calling from when in my childhood. But I worked with Isis, trying to actually elevate that energy that I had already, which was working with light, and she really helped me understand how abundant my light really is, and how I shouldn't diminish my light. And if anyone tries to diminish my light, even myself how much I should expand my light. And that's also a really important thing about deity worship, is because they help you enhance aspects that you already have in yourself. If not new ones, but if there is aspects that you really resonate with, they will really enhance that. They will really enhance that, which is really important for us, especially as divine feminine, because I feel like we lose our gifts from people because we give our gifts to people too many times. And that's a personal thing. If you don't give your gifts away, do not give your gifts away, do not sacrifice them, unless if they're for your highest self. But don't allow people to take your gifts. Never. We banish that away. And so yes, Isis. Isis really helped me understand not just Neptis, but also helped me understand the magic of light, healing powers, and also helped me. She put me through a journey to understand more of my light, and yeah, that was just the experience. It was just an enhancement to something I already naturally own. And then, gosh, the goddess flower. I worked with Evelyn. Is that correct? She was a fairy goddess. Aveline. It's somewhere in my notes, but not in this notebook. But I worked with a fairy of light, and she was also the goddess. She was also one of the ruling queens of the Fae realm, and she actually just not just she didn't extinguish. She extinguished what I thought of the Fae realm, if that makes sense. She extinguished that, and she brought light to what was true. She brought light to what is true about the fairy world, and she extinguished what isn't true. Just put more emphasis on my Celtic roots. And who else? Who lovely other goddesses that I've been blessed to work with? Lilith. Oh, wow. The Lilith, the primordial energy of Adam. Whew. I didn't even, you know what? I'm going to be honest. It was so intense that, I don't want to say I escaped. I said my farewells, but it was just her energy for me when she was calling to me. I felt like I was in a moment of desperation, if that makes sense. I was really desperate. And desperate for what? I'm not too sure. I can't really remember, but I was desperate. Yeah, I was in this energy of desperation and despair, and she saved me. She saved me from that. You know, being desperate is not a good energy to be in. Nothing comes good from being desperate. And yeah, she really saved me from that energy and helped me really understand not just coming out of desperation, but she helps me alchemize that desperation into pure strength, just strength. And I can't be so great. I cannot say so much more gratitude to her, because she really helped me when I was in a place of doubt, and she really helped me reclaim that back, especially after working with Persephone, and especially after working Hecate. There was something more ancient that was coming to me, and I couldn't anticipate that, and she really helped me with that. So Ashe. So Lilith was one of them as well. And then I'm gonna actually pause the video here for now. Hi guys, that was the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a lovely week or weekend whenever you're watching this video. And can't wait to show more. Bye guys.